morning, Stitchy Renos. How is everybody? Today is Saturday, March 28th, and I thought I would film a little FlossTube for you. Why not? What else have we got going on, right? I wanted to thank everybody for the kind comments from Mavis's video. That was the last video I uploaded. My friend Mavis did a video and shared what she had been doing over the last several months. And she's an animated lady, that Mavis, and she loved reading all of your comments, and she's already been giving me ideas for what she wants to talk about next time. So she's a lot of fun, that Mavis. Anyway, what have I been up to over the last month or so, month and a half? I got to do two very fun Stitchy related things. The first one happened at the end of February. I got together with my friend Kathleen of Kathleen's Trodden Trail. She's also a FlossTuber. And Kathleen and I met at the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat in 2018, in the fall Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat. And she and I really hit it off, and we had a lot of things in common, and we really enjoyed each other's company. And she lives in Nebraska, and I live in central Minnesota. And so she has a daughter that goes to school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is actually about like a halfway point for us both. So it's about 3.5 hours from Kathleen. It's about 4 hours from where I live in Minnesota. And so we always said we should meet in Sioux Falls sometime and you know, just have a few Stitchy days together, like a Stitchy weekend. Well, we were able to make it work Monday to Wednesday. So, I mean, this had been in the works for over a year. Well, I shouldn't say it had been in the works for over a year, but we had talked about doing it. And then after the first of this year, I reached out to her and I said, hey, are we ever going to do that get together that we talked about in Sioux Falls? And so she said we should. So we got something on the books, and I believe it was the end of February. It was the last week in February, and it was the Monday to Wednesday that we met. So on Monday, we met at lunchtime at a local restaurant in Sioux Falls, and that was our meetup point. And from there we went and we checked into our hotel, and we each got a room. We, found a very economical hotel, and they put us in rooms right next to one another as we had requested. And they both had a little kitchenette and everything in them, and they were very reasonably priced. I mean, it's Sioux Falls in February, and there really is not a whole lot going on. So we just had a fantastic time. We stitched in her room, and we ate and then did crafts in my room. And when I say did crafts, I brought a little project for us to do. I brought a little example. I got this idea. La-di-da at Nashville Market in 2019 had these kits, and she sold the kit. I should have brought mine's up in the living room. I'm gonna go get it. Hang on. Okay. This is the kit that Lori from La-di-da. This is the kit that she sold at Nashville Market 2019. So it's a scissor block. Oops, cat whisker, actually. Ooh, Train's losing his whiskers. It's got a piece of felt on the bottom, and she supplied all of these very, very cute images on a sheet of paper, and you got to pick the ones that you liked, and then you used Mod Podge and you put them on a block. And they were so easy. And it also came with this little charm and this ribbon to make this little fob. And so this is how mine turned out, and I just love it. It's very, very cool. These are my very cool Pre-Max scissors. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of these. I'm going down a rabbit hole now. These are so nice. They're made in Italy. They are like my favorite scissors. Kind of looks like a stork, doesn't it? But they've got this like ring lock system, it's called, and these are curved, So they're just so very nice to cut with. I love them. And he's meowing. Hang on. Hey, mister. How's it going there, Slim? Hey. You want to come and say hi? You want to come and say hello? All right. Hey, how's it going? Train wanted to come and say hi. He heard me talking to no one in particular. You tell everybody hello. He's so sweet. He will be 17 in May. He's doing really good. We actually just recently found out that he has stage 2 renal disease. He's been losing weight, so we started calling him Slim. But he's been losing weight a little bit, and we brought him into the vet for a checkup. And so she basically, did a little blood work, and we realized that that's what's going on with him. So now he gets special renal food, and hopefully that will help him, and he'll stick around a little longer. So anyway, regarding this is where we left off. Sorry, going down a rabbit hole here with cat news. But anyway, so this is the La-Di-Da pattern, and these I'm sure are still available in some places. It even comes with like the felt for the bottom, which is really neat. So it was so much fun to make that I thought, this would be really a fun activity for me to do with Kathleen. And so I went and I procured some more wood blocks and drilled some holes on my mom's drill press that she has in her garage, and I made some more. So I've been whipping out all kinds of them. I gave some away as gifts, and I'm going to give some away as gifts later on. They're just fun little things. And I made a tutorial. I posted it on my Instagram page, and it's right on like the main page. I think it says like highlights or something at the bottom, but those are little videos that you can click on, and then it'll just show you step by step exactly what I did. So they're super easy, super fun. The papers I got at just my local craft store. And there's many scrapbook papers that have little images that like the whole sheet is just 2-inch square images of different things. So anyway, that's one of the things that I was doing. So that's what we did together, by the way. Sorry, again, I'm just very tangential this morning. Kathleen brought a gift for me. She brought actually several gifts. She had all kinds of little things for me. She brought me there was a candle that smelled delicious. She stitched me something, which I'm going to show you in just a second. She brought me a wool kit. She brought me, what else was in there? She had like this little wooden wreath that was super cute that said welcome, and she completely spoiled me. But wait until you see what she made me. I'm going to show you right now. This is what she stitched for me. Isn't that just so adorable? So the pattern is a Brenda Gervais pattern. She told me what it was, and I can't think of it. I'll put it in the notes. She did such a beautiful job on this. I love the little buttons that she added inside of the frame that she put in there. She changed the colors from the Brenda Gervais pattern. She said she mostly used the colors from, I guess on Fat Quarter Shop, Priscilla does a springtime, like for every season, it's like her favorite floss colors, her favorite overdyes. So Kathleen bought the spring version of Priscilla's favorites, and that's what she changed these colors to and converted these colors to. And I can't tell you how much I love it. I was absolutely tickled pink. She even put on the back, the date, to Sue from Kathleen, girls' time in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It just was the nicest thing ever. I absolutely love it. So right now it's on display in my dining area. I have a little, my grandma's antique sewing machine is in there. Where are you trying to go, mister? And so, you want to lay right there? You're going to lay right in front of me? Okay. So, my grandma's antique sewing machine is kind of by our entryway, and so I always make like a little spring vignette on there. So, in fact, I'll insert a picture right here so you can see what it looks like. So, that was my trip with Kathleen in Sioux Falls. We had a great time. We just ordered pizza in. We ate out at a few places. We went to the Sartoma Butterfly House. We just had a ball. And if you have a stitchy friend, things like that are so much fun to do. It doesn't have to be, you know, crazy retreat expensive. We each paid for 2 nights in a hotel, and you could even share a hotel. So that was the fun that I had with Kathleen. Then about a week and a half later, I headed to Nashville for Nashville Needlework Market to help out Teresa in her booth. And we were busy this year. Nashville is always a good time. It's always so nice to see everybody and hang out with all of the people that you see once a year. And it's neat to be able to, you're always among friends in Nashville. It's, even though there are many different styles, you know, you've got the people that love the samplers, and you've got kind of the more modern, upbeat, bright, colorful patterns. There's tons of different industries related to needlework. And it's so fun when we all come together. And even though you might not do the same types of stitching, or you may all, everybody has different styles that they enjoy, which is what makes this world such an interesting place. And it's always such fun to see everyone, and it's such a supportive vibe and such a supportive atmosphere. Everyone is in everyone else's corner. Like everyone, you know, there's room in this industry for everyone. And that is definitely the vibe that you get from Nashville. So, and lots of new faces this year, lots of new up-and-comers that are, and it's fantastic. It's really great to see. And cross-stitch, I'm sure a lot of it is due to FlossTube and social media, Instagram, FlossTube, Facebook. It's really gotten a shot in the arm and has inspired lots of people to start stitching again. You know, I hear so often, oh, I used to stitch back in the 80s, but I haven't done anything for such a long time. And they pick up a needle and they start going to it again. So cross stitch is back in a big way, I think. So I got to Nashville and I took an Uber to the hotel. I found Teresa, and we always exchange gifts, and she spoiled me this year. So she made me this awesome project bag. Isn't that fun? It's got bikes and little Vespas and everything on the inside. And look at this. She just did a stellar job. Look at how she centered the fabric, and she just did an amazing job with this project bag. So, and then you should see the stuff that was inside of it. So, here we go. Are you ready? Hold on to your hats, because she put some good stuff in here. Okay. First of all, I got a Stitcher's Lingo project bag kit. And it's with all the instructions and everything. So I cannot wait to put that together. Harriet Elizabeth Coe is one that I have wanted for a while. I think Farm Girl started a stitch along, and for the longest time you couldn't find this pattern. And I had mentioned that to Teresa, and she just stuck one in my little project bag for me. So I love it. Thrilled about that. And then this fun book, she knows I'm a quilter, And this has some super duper cute projects in it. And it kind of reminds me of, we did a project. In fact, I brought it upstairs so you could see it. But we did a project. Look at some of this stuff. This person, I'll give you it's Carrie Turner Goodheart. Carrie or Corey? I think it's, oh, maybe it's Corey. Hang on, let me look at I think maybe it's Corey. Kori. Corrie Turner Goodheart. Anyway, she does kind of like free motion quilting type stuff. And she embellishes with, you know, normally quilting kind of blends in and you want the project to stand out, like the piecework and everything. But this lady throws in this kind of stuff so that you can see, like, here's the cover. You are brave. Isn't that cute? I mean, she does some fun stuff here too, but that, you're meant to see that, you know, and she adds that little bird. So there's some fun little projects in here. Look at that little pin cushion. Isn't that fun? So it reminds me of when I went to visit Teresa. I bet it was 6 or 7 years ago. We did a little project together, and it was great fun. And the project that we did was this. We each made a pin cushion, and Teresa actually showed hers on one of her FlossTubes quite a while ago. Hers was like a big, tall brownstone building. And if you can hear that sound, what's in the bottom of these, what we used to weight them down at that time, was those little decorative glass beads that they used to put in vases that were, I don't know, all the rage probably, like, I don't know, probably 7, 8 years ago. But that's what we have in the bottom to weight down our little pin cushions. So this was my project, and this is Weeks Dye Works wool that Teresa had on hand, and we cut it up, and we just followed the directions. The name of this book, oh, now Teresa used to have it in her shop. I don't know if she still does, but the person that wrote that book that we got both of these ideas out of was named Mummy Sam, and it was all one word, Mummysam, Mummy Sam. And she put out a book, and Teresa used to have it in her shop. I don't know if she still does or not, but it was lots of projects like this, and it used a lot of that free motion quilting to kind of embellish things. So this is what I keep in here. These are like my long needles. You know, sometimes you need a needle to go into something that's real thick, like a pin cushion. You know how when you put a button in the center of a pin cushion or something, you need a longer needle. This is just a little Jabco pin that Teresa had that we both thought looked so cute in there. And those are some Jabco buttons that I just sewed on to mine. These are curved needles that they come in handy. So my odd needles are what I keep in here. Anything. And oh, and this is my snag nabbit. Do you guys know what a snag, you guys all know what a snag nabbit is, don't you? A snag nabbit, do you see how it's real porous right at the end there? I think it's focusing. This real porous end is for, it's got the consistency or the texture of a nail file. And so what you do with that, if you have like a snag on your sweater or something, and you kind of, you know, try to push it all back in and pull it and straighten it out until it almost goes all the way back, but there's always like maybe this much or something that sticks back out. What you do is you use your snag nabbit to pull that through. So you basically kind of put it in where the snag occurred. You sort of wrap the thread around this end, and then you pull it through. And when you pull it through, it pulls it to the other side so that it's not sticking out on the side where you snagged it. So if you don't have a snag nabbit, I believe it's a Dritz product. You can find it just in the notions area of your local sewing store. So, but anyway, this kind of stitching, if you look there, we did that stitching. And the stuff on the roof, I picked a really easy one. Teresa's was real tall and skinny. Hers was probably like twice this size, and hers has the weighted little beads in it too. But yeah, so that was a fun little project. But that pattern book reminded me a lot of that pattern. So I can't wait to make something out of that book. It's super, super cute. So Nashville was fantastic. And I will get to my haul that I bought in Nashville in just a minute. But I think what I'm going to do is show you my WIPS first, okay? I also got some nice gifts from Nashville. So I'm going to show you what I've been working on. One of the things I've been working on is surgical masks. I'm a respiratory therapist. You all know what's been happening with the pandemic. This is the kind of mask I have chosen to make. This has a little spot right here. We're running out of protective equipment. I'm sure you've all heard this. I'm not going to go into this is not the news hour. This is fun hour. We're not going to talk about crap going on right now, but except for this. So, so anyway, I'm making these masks, and this is my pattern of choice. So when you put it on, you can push this down, and then it forms to your nose. So this uses a twisty tie right here. And so this is my pattern of choice. This was my prototype. I've since tweaked it a little bit better to make my pleats a little tighter. But, I mean, it's still functional. But anyway, so, and why is it half and half? I had some triangles that were left over from a different project. In fact, Linda Jo, I bet you recognize these two fabrics because I made her a little zippered pouch with these two fabrics. So anyway, from that project, when I made those little bags, I had all these triangles left over of these fabrics. And so I thought, well, if I put them together, then I get an 8-inch square, and that's what I needed to make these. So I'm going to be making about 50 more masks, not all, you know, have the half and half look, but there's several that do. So I've been making these, and like I said, today my goal is to make 50 more. I've got them all cut out. I got my elastic in the mail yesterday. That was the tricky thing, is finding more elastic. So I will be cranking some more of those out to help keep my coworkers and our patients safe. So I also got a donation from my mom's quilting group on, we have a quilting group, kind of a chat where we all chime in, and several on there have also been making. One gal whose name is Sue, she made 100 of those masks, and they're absolutely adorable. She did a fantastic job. My mom has made some. I know there are others that are working on some others as well. So that's awesome and is so appreciated. I cannot tell you. So it's great how everyone has stepped up during this pandemic. So, all right, what have I been working on? If you remember, the last time I filmed a FlossTube, I had talked about this little thing called the English Garden embroidered box. This was a kit and it was a class that I took at the Silver Needle. Wow, it's been a long time. I forgot like how long ago it was, but it was a long time ago, over 10 years ago, I'm sure. And so I had this little kit all ready to go, and I finished the stitching on it, but I have not put it together yet because I wanted to, but I'm working on my masks. So what I've done since last time, so this is the little pre-printed piece of fabric that we got. So most of this was done. The only thing I did since I talked to you last was I did this part, this whole rose arbor. And those roses, you guys, are so much fun to make. They are great fun to make. It's really a neat little trick how you make those, and they turn out so, so cute. The other thing I did is these little hollyhocks were pre-made. So it was basically like sewing on a button. We had to sew those little hollyhocks onto that embroidered area. So that is how I have done on that. So I just have to assemble the box now, and it doesn't look difficult. I think it's going to be fairly straightforward. Her directions are amazing. It's mostly going to be like gluing and waiting for things to dry is what it amounts to. So I hopefully will have that all finished by the time I talk to you. But like I said, I kind of got detoured because I've been making masks. Another thing that I've been working on, this I picked up in Nashville. And since this was so much fun. I love this little kit. Actually, I'll put this with the Nashville stuff. Another thing that you know I've been working on was Mary 2. And Mary 2 is a Plum Street design. And it came with the chenille trim and also with the floss. So I had this in my stash, and then Carolyn from Stash Sisters, she's the gal that works at the Attic in Mesa, Arizona. She showed this all finished on Aztec red linen, and I fell in love with it. And so I stitched it on that, and you can see I finished. And this is how it turned out, and I think it is just adorable. So this is 40 count Aztec red linen, and I think it turned out so, so cute. It really, those snowflakes really pop. I mean, you can see on the red, you can see the difference. Like, you can't really even see the snowflakes on this one, on the model, but on the red, oh, it's going to be so cute done. With that white chenille on the back. Oh, I love it. I love it. So thank you, Carolyn of Stash Sisters, for that idea, because that was genius. I loved it. Still do. What else have I been working on? Well, one thing you've seen that I was working on, I think I showed this, the Alpha Block sampler. This is from Needlework Press. It's an adaptation of a needlepoint sampler, which I think I've shown this. This is the front, this one here. And this is the back. You can see there are a lot of very gaudy colors originally, and they're pretty faded in this one. But this is their adaptation, which is what this is. And they made it so that every block has one letter of the alphabet. So I modified mine a little bit. I put my initials down here, which are SR. And so I'm going to put the E up here and the F right here, because I just swapped those out. And I've also been making other little color changes as I go along. But let me show you what it looks like here, how far I've gotten. I'm doing this as a stitch along with Deb, Deb is Needle and Spoons on Instagram, and her sister Kathy, who is not on Instagram, but is just a delightful lady. And so this is my progress so far, and this is the bottom part. So you can see I just finished that rooster, and I put a crown on that little girl on the seesaw. I don't know why, but for some reason she was just begging to have a crown. And so I charted a little crown and I added that to her head. It was supposed to just be like some yellow floss for blonde hair, but I was like, she needs a crown. That little blue dress, she's a princess. She needs a crown. So that's how I've been doing on that. And I'll show you, I also changed the color of this roof right here. The original was just so blah, and I didn't like that. I didn't want it to blend in. And you can kind of see the girl's hair there. I don't know, am I too close? It was just so blonde. I was like, no, I'm just going to give her a crown. So yeah, you can see how I changed the colors there a little bit. And I've broken it up into, we have broken it up into 12 parts. So I made a photocopy of the front, and I kind of drew lines as to what has to be finished. So what I have to finish for March, so this was January, this was February, and then this was March. And I just have to finish these two little figures and then stitch that K. And also I realized I skipped the P, so I've got to do that. So I've got like 2 days to do that. I've got to do that between today and tomorrow. I don't know. I just as long as I finish it by the end of the year. So hopefully I'll have some more time. But yeah, I'm trying to keep a quota. So I don't know if I'll jump here for April or if I'll jump over here for April. Or here. I suppose I could just go in the middle too if I wanted to, but I'm guessing I'll probably go here back to this side and I'll stitch this here for April. So that's my quota for April. And it's kind of fun if you've never done broken up a larger pattern into 12 parts. It's kind of fun. It gives you a quota and something to work toward every month, and you know that if you finish that much, you'll finish by the end of the year. So I don't know. I've never really done that before, but I know some people have. They did it on the big Barbara Anna piece, the All Creatures Great and Small. That one, that is phenomenal. I know that one was broken up into 12 parts, and I'm sure they've done it a lot on many. And this last thing that I'm going to show you, this last WIP, is one that I just started with Kathleen when we got together. So one of the things that we did, I got a pattern from my friend Kathy, who stitched it with her sister Deb. So the same ones that I'm doing that stitch along with. So the pattern is called Sisters, and it's by Barbara Anna. And it's similar. There's a lot of these samplers now where you stitch the whole thing and then you cut it in half and then you join them back together. So like, I will stitch this whole sampler, then I'm going to cut it in half, send the top half to Kathleen. She's going to send me her half, and then we're going to reattach them with a seam. So the berry bowl sampler that came out at market, that's a similar concept. So they're kind of fun to do. This is, of course, doesn't take as much, it's not as much of an investment as that berry bowl sampler, because that's a huge sampler. But yeah, so this is the same kind of thing, but on a smaller scale. And I love the idea. And I don't have a sister, but Kathleen, I mean, you could just as easily do it with friends. So I showed this to Kathleen and she loved the idea. And so we went down to the Shanty Stitcher, which is in Beresford, South Dakota. And is that right? Yeah, Beresford, South Dakota. So we went to her, and she has a very cute little shop, and we picked out 2 linen colors that we thought would work. And we converted the color scheme a little bit. So we changed some of the colors. We wanted to brighten it up a little bit. So without further ado, this is how far I am on that. And I charted our names because I have some design software. And so when I was 7, I went by Susie, Susie. That's how my mom spelled it. My maiden name was different, but I just thought it would be fun to do it. You know, age 7, I was known as Susie then. So this is how far I've gotten, and it's turning out really, really cute. So this is the top half. And we picked out 2 coordinating but slightly different shades of 32 count linen. I couldn't tell you which shades they were anymore. Kathleen might know, but I can't remember. But I think Kathleen's is a little bit darker. And we didn't know, it was kind of fun. We had the lady cut them both. And then she said, well, who's going to get which one? And I said, I don't know, let's hold them behind your back, and then Kathleen, you choose. So she mixed them up behind her back, and Kathleen chose left or right. I don't remember which. That was the fabric that Kathleen got, and I got the other one. So they're, like I said, they're just a little different shades, but they're the very same fabric and same count, so they'll go together very nicely. So I think they're both Zweigart based. So anyway, maybe they aren't Zweigart based. I can't tell because I don't have a salvage edge on mine. And she cuts exactly to size. Ginny in Beresford, Iowa at Shanty Stitcher, she will cut fabric exactly to the size you need. So we showed her what our pattern was, and she cut it to what we needed it to be. So that was great fun. So that's new, something that I started with Kathleen, and that is due in July. So we both set a goal for us to be finished in July. And I actually got a lot done on this week. I ended up in the auto dealership. This is my car project. And I ended up in the car dealership because getting some work done. I turned 100,000 miles on my little Honda Civic Cheeto. That's what I call it because it is bright orange, as you can see in the picture. So Cheeto needed an overhaul because it turned 100,000 miles. So, you know, it needed the new spark plugs and all of that stuff. It was running fine, but it's one of those things, just the routine maintenance. So, and I had my oil changed and all that good stuff. So I had some time to sit in the dealership and stitch. So I got a lot done while I was there. One other thing I want to share with you is a couple other things. I know a lot of you read, and before I get to haul, I'll just talk about a book that I read recently. It is called The Alice Network by Kate Quinn, and it was my favorite book that I've read so far this year. It's about a young college-age girl in the late 1940s, just a year or two after World War II ended, and I guess mid-40s really, and she finds herself pregnant out of wedlock, and she is searching for her cousin who, you know, people got, you know, disjointed and ended up in different parts, and they did not have, obviously, good ways to communicate and get the word out as to where they were, and people were displaced from their homes because of the war. And so she's looking for her cousin. She's a college-age girl who finds herself pregnant, and it vacillates between her story and another female character who was a spy in World War I. And so the story vacillates back and forth between the two of them, and it is an excellent book, and I enjoyed it very much. The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. So that's my book recommendation. So book time! So, I don't read. I mean, I read, but I don't read books. Like, I don't sit down and curl up in a chair and read a book. I listen to audiobooks. My drive to work is about 35 minutes long, so I can usually finish in a CD or in like heading to work and heading back. So I do a lot of audiobooks, and I get them from my library. Of course, now all the libraries are closed, but I've got some to keep me entertained. So I know a lot of people do Audible as well, and that's a good way to get audiobooks too. But that's how I read. So my husband says, "You don't read, you listen." And I'm like, "But I know, I mean, I guess it's not the right thing to say, you know, read a book. I listened to a book, I guess is technically." So that was the other thing. And one more thing that I wanted to share with all of you. If you haven't tried these vanilla cream Werther's soft caramels, wow, I love them. So they have a cream center. They're amazing. They are addicting and amazing and delicious. I love caramel. So is it caramel or caramel? What do you say? I don't know. I like caramel because it sounds better. It's one less syllable, you know, and I'm a woman of action, you know. Go. I don't have time for that extra syllable. So anyway, Werther's Original Vanilla Cream Caramels, give them a try. You won't be sorry. Or maybe you will be sorry because they're delicious. So, okay, I'm going to move on to haul, right? I did my WIPS. I'm going to show you my haul. Okay. And I wonder what I meant with that. I wrote down, oh, I know. Okay, yes, we did that. Okay. I don't even know what my own notes mean, for crying out loud. Okay, this was one of my favorite things. So this is haul from Nashville Needlework Market. I purchased this little kit. It was from The Secrets de Marie, Les Secrets de Marie, which means the secrets of Marie. Marie is a lovely French lady that was at market this year for the first time, and she had all kinds of fun little doodads. She had some dyed linen that was very, very fine linen. It wasn't anything that you could stitch on for cross stitch, but it was stuff that you could use for embroidery, and she had lots of that linen that was dyed. I know Teresa bought a bunch of that. And then she had these little thread drops with the hand-dyed colors on them. And these thread drops were so cute. They've got the little hole, and then they've got these little wooden buttons glued to them. And the board itself, I mean, they're wood. They're like a fiber board. And then they've got like fabric glued to them. And then the button glued on top of that. They were so cute. And she had these little bunches, and they were very reasonably priced. This kit I bought, and it was very fun to make. I whipped it together in like an hour yesterday, and let me show you what did I do with my little scissors? Oh, did I leave them now? What did I do with them? Hang on. Hold, please. Because it looks so cute with the scissors. I can't not show you without the scissors. Oh, for heaven's sake, what did I do with them? Hang on one second. I need to find them. Okay, I found them. Okay, so this is what the kit looked like. It came with absolutely everything you needed. It came with the lace. It came, the house board, that's a board. It's a piece of wood. It came with that, and this fabric was already mounted to that board. It came with this white fabric with the red little marquee little symbols on it. It came with all 3 types of lace. It came with all these buttons. It did not come with the scissors, but I had a scissors that would go in there perfectly. And here's how mine turned out. Isn't that so cute? So I added this, and I added this piece of aqua blue fabric. And I just put my buttons on a little different than she did. You can see how she did hers and how I did mine. This scissors is the Putford scissors, miniature with regular finger holes. So they're miniature scissors with regular size finger holes. So they're just, yeah. And I got in my advent calendar this year, my Stitch Supply Company advent calendar, which I know a lot of you followed followed that on Instagram with me, my opening of my advent calendar every year. Stitch Supply Company is taking pre-orders for those now. So if that is something you are interested in, reach out to them. They are Stitch Supply Company on stitchsupplycompany.com. They're out of Altoona, Wisconsin. And they're doing another advent calendar this year. So if you're interested, head on over there. But yeah, so this was mainly just gluing. I had stitched on this here, and this was my antique button that I added. And then once it's all, so it came with this wool, the wool pocket here. You just glued the lace on. You glued the lace here. It came with a little template, and you just had to cut out these shapes. And I thought it turned out so, so cute, and I absolutely love it. And these scissors are perfect for it. These are from Kelmscott Designs, by the way. The Putford miniature scissors are from Kelmscott. So, and these, like I said, were in my advent calendar this year. But yeah, isn't that fun? And it's just, and then once you had all of the stuff done on the pocket, then you just stitched these 3 sides, and that's it. I used 2 strands of floss to stitch it on. The holes are already pre-drilled in the wood, you can see there. So yeah, isn't that awesome? I thought it turned out so cute, and these scissors could not be more perfect. So Teresa does not, to my knowledge, she didn't pick any of these up. She bought the thread drop things, which were really fun, and she bought the linen, but I don't think she bought any of these. But I did see that the Attic Needlework did purchase some of these, and I think the kit is like 12 bucks or something, and took me less than an hour to put it together, and it was fun, and it's cute when it's done. I mean, wouldn't that be cute in a little dough bowl with some other little stitching things? I just thought it was great. One of my favorite things I picked up at Market. So there's that. All right, more haul. I should show you this. I correspond with Heidi Cran quite a bit, and she and we have done like little exchanges. She's up in Canada, and she is just another stitcher that is sweet as can be. I can't wait. One day we are going to meet. So she sent me a little care package, and she gave me these thread drops. She sent me basically like a little stitching kit. So she made these adorable little thread drops, and I put my DMC. She sent the skeins of DMC, and she had one thread drop for every skein. So I put those on my little thread drops, and then she dyed me a piece of linen. Look at how well she dyed that. Isn't that awesome? It even smells like coffee-like. It's a great piece of linen. And then she sent me a freebie pattern from Sub Rosa Designs, and it's an autumn chart, and I thought it was really cute. It's a freebie. It says Autumn Blessings, and it's got a flower urn and some birds on it, and I can't wait to stitch that. So these are the colors, and yeah. So thank you very much, Heidi. I can't wait to get to work on this. So it'll probably be after I finish my other car project. This will become my next car project. So thank you, Heidi. She's another sweetie. I can't wait to meet her one day. We're gonna meet someday, but because we're not that far apart. I mean, she's from the frozen north as well, so we're gonna find a way. So anyway. Okay, I got some Stitchy gifts. I'll go over those. I got 2 of these from Jen at Jen's Stitching Niche. These are little crocheted scrubbies, and one of them is already in the sink because I've been using it to death. These are very nice. This is actually special scrubby yarn that you can just crochet or knit little squares, and they work fantastic. They're great for the non-stick pans because it offers a little scrubbiness, but it's not really brutal to it. It's not too coarse, so it works. It's really, really great. So thank you, Jen. I love it. I made Jen a block, so we always exchange something at Nashville. The other thing that I got in the mail actually, let me go through what I got from, well, I'll just keep going. It doesn't matter. It's all haul. It's all, no matter where I got it. So this is another kit for the Brenda Gervais project bags. So this one I got from Tara Sullivan, who is Sully1040 on Instagram. She does not have a FlossTube yet, but she should. She's very, very funny. She's from North Carolina. She has a terrific sense of humor. So I was not able to go to the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat this past fall because I had just gotten back from Russia with my mom. Boo-hoo, right? So I was not able. It was the following weekend after I got home, and I just couldn't justify being gone for 2.5, almost 3 weeks, and then go, hey, I'm leaving again, bye, so I had to skip, and I missed the beautiful Brenda Gervais retreat at Midwest this year. But she bought me these 2 things. So Peppermint Pals, which I'm gonna make his bottoms buffalo plaid, because I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I am a big Paul Bunyan fan, and I have a buffalo plaid theme up at the cabin. In fact, I should show you my water bottle. I have all kinds of Paul Bunyan stickers on my water bottle. Very Minnesota themed water bottle. So my son worked at Signal Mountain Lodge in the Grand Tetons the last 2 summers, so I can't wait until so Phil and I, well, all 3 of us hiked to the top of it. That was quite a hike that day. But anyway, Paul Bunyan fan. So yeah, he's gonna get some buffalo plaid shorts, and then I'll bring him up to the cabin with me. So yeah, I love that. So these, I tried to pay Tara, and she was like, no, keep your money. So Tara, thank you very much. And thank you to Jen Winthizer. I think I'm saying your name right. I never have formally asked you, but Jen, thank you for mailing these to me, because Jen and I were going to get together because she's from Minnesota as well, and we just have never been able to work out a time. So last week she just mailed these to me like, hey, you might want to work on these. So anyway, I'm excited because I have another bag to put together, and this is going to look great at the cabin. So thank you, Tara and Jen. Okay, Market Haul. Here we go. We're just going to jump right in. All right. Okay, as we go along here. First of all, another Brenda Gervais. I love that. I have jars of buttons around my house. I have buttons for days, you guys. I just have a thing about buttons. Love it. So I'm going to, and I probably won't stitch the word collector. I just want the jar of buttons. So I got that one. That was a fun one. This I loved. The Salt Box Quilt Sampler. Look at all those beautiful salt box houses. Aren't they fun? So my idea with this, I want to stitch all of these houses individually, and I want to put them all in a dough bowl. That's, I mean, kind of like how this is. So I want to stitch all of them separately, and I'm even going to do some like really tall trees so that when it's in the dough bowl, there's like one thing with interest that kind of sticks out. So yeah, that is just screaming. Those little houses are just screaming to be put into a dough bowl to me. So I got this one. That's my idea for that. Who doesn't love a good berry bowl? Linda Jo has started on hers. She and Jenny, the long dog stitcher, are doing this together. So just same exact thing like I'm doing with Kathleen, but a lot more work. Look at these berry bowls. Everybody loves stitching a berry bowl, I think. Don't you all love it? I love it. They're just fun. I mean, they're just kind of mindless and easy and fun. So this was genius, and I think this was one of my favorite things from Market. This and my little scissor house. So yeah, this, what is not to love? Scarlet House, and Beth and Tanya just knocked it out of the park with this one. Love it. So this I got from my wonderful friend Nikki. Nikki is Nikki's Creations. She's from Italy. We had a great time. Teresa and I had a great time hanging out with her. She is a laugh riot, and she's so much fun. We went out to dinner with her. I will insert some pictures here because we had such a great time. We went out to dinner, and Teresa, she drove up with a rented cargo van. And so it's a 2-seater. I mean, there are 2 bucket seats. So Nikki and I had to sit in the passenger side, and we just had a great time. We didn't have to drive very far to get to the restaurant, but oh my gosh, we giggled that whole way, and we were just in a mood. We just had a great time. So it's always, always so nice to see Nikki. So she's a dear, dear friend. And I know I've shared with you before in a past video about how we just have a weird, strange connection. So that was a lot of fun. I feel like I have a piece of hair right here. Did I get it? Nope. I can see it. Why can't I grab it? That is so weird, you guys. Can you see it? Hey, I got it. Okay. That was weird. Okay. So this is what I got from Nikki's Creation. Spring stitching. These are so cute done up. And again, I want to put these little four motifs in a little berry bowl. They're all little Stitchy related little motifs. Aren't they cute? I just love Nikki. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, this is kind of my new obsession, and I'm going to show a different one that I acquired. So this is from Kathy Barrick. It is the Susan Hillier sampler. It's a tiny little sampler. It looks like great fun to stitch. I can't wait to do it, but it's got my name in it. I'm a Susan, and I really want to stitch that. And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to stitch samplers. It would be fun to have a collection of samplers with my name in them. You know what I mean? Reproduction samplers. So this is one of them, Susan Hillier. I can't wait to start this one. It's just a neat little, like, who's ever seen something like that? And even the verse is kind of fun. Let me grab my glasses here. I dropped them on the floor. The verse is, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. So yeah, I love that one. Isn't that fun? Okay. And then I came home, and because I was like, you know, I'm going to start collecting Susan samplers, I looked up, I did an eBay search on Susan samplers, and I found this one. This is the Susan Amison sampler. This was a lady on eBay that was just selling a sampler that was a reproduction from a magazine. And so these are all eyelets. Who doesn't love a good eyelet? I'll probably change the colors in it, but it's a Susan. Her name is right down here. It says right, she did it in multi-colors, which I think is fun. Right there, Susan. Susan Amison. So, yeah. So I picked that one up on, oh, I hope I didn't show the pattern. If I did, I'll delete it out. So, and then I got from Teresa, the newest in the antique series. So with this market, she released antique birds and cages. And I love bird cages on samplers. I like birds in the first place, but bird cages are fun. But if you notice, there are no birds in cages on Teresa's little sampler because she gave them all keys there, which you can see, and they all got out. So she doesn't like things to be locked up, and who can blame her? The next three things are my commission for Teresa. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera there. Teresa is distributing for 3 different designers. She is the distributor right now for Tracy Riffle of Hands to Work. And so not only when people came into the booth were we showing them Teresa's new designs, but we also had to show them, I shouldn't say had to, but we also showed them the designs of the other 3 designers. So we were busy. We were doing a lot of talking. So we had to kind of, you know, bring them around the room, and there were 4 different spots where we had to stop and explain what was new and what was interesting. Teresa's booth is always jam-packed and chock full of good stuff. So, you know, and this was no exception this year. So she's able to drive, so she's able to bring a lot more, where other designers, they fly, so and they have to ship all of their stuff. And because it's a cash and carry market, they're having to ship heavy patterns, and like the bills can be astronomical for all that shipping. So, anyway, so Teresa has the luxury of being able to drive to Nashville Needlework Market, and she brings a whole booth full of stuff. So, but so being that I was busy selling these patterns all weekend, Teresa said, you can go ahead and pick one of each. So that's what I did. This was my commission for selling each of their patterns. So I picked up from Tracy the My Dear pattern. This is the deer she pulled off of an antique sampler that she owns, and she pulled off some other motifs there also. I just think that's so cute. Just a cute little original design with some antique motifs thrown in. So it's adorable, Tracy. I love it. And then this one, Marjorie Massey. I thought this one down here was so neat. It was such a neat Quaker. I like how they're offset, and it makes that really interesting shape in the middle. You see that? It's kind of cool. I just thought that was a really, really fun one. So this was one of the Marjorie Massey patterns. So that was my commission for selling the Marjorie Massey, which Teresa is also distributing now. And then Stone Street Stitchworks, she's got some cute stuff. So she was mainly only selling on Etsy prior. And then Teresa reached out to her and said, wow, would you like it if I brought some of your things to market? And she was like, sure. So this is the one that I picked from Stone Street. I just thought that was really, really cute. The little spools and the pinwheel in the middle and the houses. I just thought that was so fun. I really liked it. So this one's called the Stitch Along. So yeah, so that was my little from her. So my commission. I got a chart from each of them. I had to pick this up. I also have the other one, His Eyes on the Sparrow. And this is considered the lilies. In real life, it looks really pastel-y here. And in real life, it's not that pastel. It's more, the colors are more in line, I feel, with His Eyes on the Sparrow. It does look really, really springy here. Not that it's bad at all, by any means. It's cute like that, too. But I felt like in real life, it was a little more muted. It's beautiful, though. It's amazing. And can't wait to stitch that, both of them actually. So, and they're big, they're so big. I think this one is also on 28. Yep, 28 count Winter's Brew. Yeah, they're gorgeous. I love it, love it. Then for my sweet friend Misty, I picked up this one, Savor Every Stitch. She had some cute stuff. Her booth was adorable. It was decorated so cute. So I had to pick this one up. I love her colors. I love the way she finishes. You know, her booth was just as cute as could be. And then from Misty, I also got, so Misty and I also correspond as friends outside of FlossTube, and we've been talking for a while. We Skype every now and again. And so she and I always exchange a little something. And so she got me something really, really cool. She got me this belt, and you're probably saying to it's part of a belt, and you're probably saying to yourself, what in the world is that? It is made by Knox Mountain Knit Company, and it's a recycled belt. And what you do with it is it is used. So now that I'm knitting, she's like, now that you're knitting, you need something that's going to keep your shawl together. So this is what this is for. So you just kind of go, if I can get it here. Oops, there we go. And you snap it together, and then it keeps your shawl where it's supposed to be. And I think the snap goes in the back, so you can see how it looks. Isn't that cute? So, and that just helps your shawl to stay where it should be. Isn't that cute? I thought it was very fun. I thought it was great. Like, I could just see going to a movie theater and being like, ooh, I'm chilly, and yeah. So, yeah. So thank you, Misty. I thought that was really fun, and what a great way to like recycle. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. The last, let's see, I've got a couple more things here. Oh, yes. Okay, this I loved. Teresa, I forgot, this was also in my little stitching bag that I don't know why it was out, but Teresa gave me this pattern. This is an exclusive that is available at the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Teresa taught there in November, and this was their teaching piece, and I think it was really, really cool. I love this border. I love this red house. Right now, this is only available at the Silver Needle, and I just loved it. Look at that fun alphabet. It's like this diminutive little alphabet. It's got a neat verse. Look at that like little stream and that red bridge. It's awesome. I love it. I love everything about this. So I had mentioned to her that I liked it, and she printed me one. So that was awesome. So thank you, Teresa. Again, Silver Needle in Tulsa has those exclusively right now. I don't know if they'll be open to other shops at another time or not. I don't know. But and then this one I loved. Rachel Long from Needle Made Designs. Let's see. Do I have to take it out? There. That's pretty good. I really like this one. I love the fact that she didn't care at all if her border met up. I feel as if this was a little girl who was, how old was she when she made it? I don't know. It doesn't actually say. But what I like about it is that I think sometimes girls were made to stitch and they would have much rather been out in the barn with the animals, helping their dad with the chores, collecting eggs and doing that kind of thing. I mean, it's just like nowadays, there are people who do not enjoy stitching, but then it was a necessity and it was a necessary thing. And she was just like, I don't care that this isn't going to meet up. I'm just going to put two going the same direction. I want to get out and play with the chickens. That's how I see this pattern. And I just think it's a neat reminder of days gone by. So yeah, Rachel Long, 1821. It doesn't say how old she was when she stitched it, but, and it's beautiful. Look at, look at these flowers with the purple and the red. Yeah, that's a neat sampler. It just looks fun to stitch. And it's fairly good size. I mean, the stitch count is 235 by 245, so it's good size. This is the original here. So yeah, I thought that was a really neat sampler. That's one of my favorites also. And then this I saw at market and I didn't buy it, and then I regretted not buying it, and so I came home and I bought it and I downloaded it. In fact, I just bought this morning. So this is from Tiny Modernist. They are from Canada also. This was so cute, all done in the reds. I am going to stitch it, and I think I would like to make it into a drum. I've never done a drum before, but I think it would be a really cute pin cushion. I think it's adorable. Like I said, I saw it all finished and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And we were in a hurry on Friday night and I didn't buy it and I kicked myself, but I downloaded it when I got home. So I just bought it this morning. So that's super duper cute. Vintage sewing set. So like I said, I'm gonna make it a drum, I believe. I think I have reached the end of my pile. Let me look and make sure that I checked everything off. We talked about the book. We talked about the caramels haul. I think that's everything, you guys. I hope that next time I come back that I have some finishes. I want to have this finished, and I also want to have nope, not that one. My Plum Street one finished. This one. So that's my goal for next time. I think it would have happened had I not been making masks. So like I said, I kind of stopped production of other things so that I could make masks. So, but that's all right. Until next time, I am wishing you all smooth stitching and no ripping. Have a great month, everybody. Bye-bye.